Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and I hope that you can see me and hear me okay. As you noticed, I'm in a different location. I kind of got kicked out of my studio. We got some family coming over, and I needed to move a few things around to accommodate for a few days. So I don't know how many videos I'm going to have to do from a different location, but we're going to make do. So I just decided that this is the most comfy spot for me to do this. So hopefully this video will work out and we'll just get through it. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about for today is that we are pretty much at year's end. 2024 is coming to a close, and we're getting ready to kick off into 2025 in a few days. And what I want to talk about is cutting your losses. Sometimes we have to make a tough decision and give up on something and just completely discard it or cut it out of our lives, our routine, and just focus our time and attention and resources on something different. And sometimes it is a difficult, decision. Sometimes it's a little bit easier, and again, depends on what it is that we're talking about. It might be an object, and depending on what it is, it may have sentimental value, or it just may be one of those things that it's uh, going to be financially difficult to replace it versus trying to fix it or repair it. But there's a lot of different things. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it's just a longtime friend. Sometimes it's actual blood relatives, whatever. And you have to have that kind of thought process. Is it a beneficial thing for me to continue to put time, energy, focus, all that into trying to do a repair? Or is this kind of a waste of time? Or is it even hurting? So there's some aspects into this that go just a little deeper than just a quick decision off the top of your head when we go through and talk about some of this stuff. And so when we go into and we're talking about objects, we have to be very, very careful because most of the time it takes a resource. And whether that resource is materials to try and repair something, to try and fix it, and different things like that, um, it's takes resources away, and resources have to also be replenished and replaced, and sometimes those resources can be difficult to scavenge or go through and make from scratch and things like that. Other times it's time. It just takes time to go through and put some effort into it and things like that. For the most part, when we're talking about an object, that kind of saying of good as new sometimes does not fit. Sometimes when we go through and we repair something, it's a band aid at best. Sometimes when you go through and you repair things, it's just not the same. It still may function, it still may serve a purpose, uh, but it's not the same. It's not brand new. It's not functioning 100%. But sometimes that's all you need. You just need to get by until you can replace it or whatnot. And so you just have to kind of go through and do kind of a analysis on whether something is worth going through and doing that, or is it best to just go ahead and discard it and get a replacement that is going to function and actually be more of a benefit. Remember, a lot of this stuff that you're getting, they're assets. They are things to try and give you the advantage, and so we want to try and get the best that we can. Now, for certain people, they will take what I'm about to say out of context. And when I say that something is better than nothing, they will throw all sorts of different things in there about, a higher quality, this and that, uh, blah, blah, blah. And yes, I get it. And to an extent, I agree. But Some people are not financially there to be able to purchase that thing of a higher quality. And thus, if they can't get something that's $500, but they can get something that's $100, I would much rather have something than nothing. It's not the thing that they have $10,000 in the bank and they decided that the $100 one is, going to do just fine. In some cases, you can go a cheaper route. Some cases you are going through and you're just paying for a brand name or for packaging or certain just aesthetically pleasing details and things like that. And certain things, no, the higher quality thing is better. There's only a handful of things, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, uh, that you just definitely don't want to get the cheap thing. A tourniquet is one of them. It's better to save up the extra $10 or $15 and buy an actual reputable tourniquet than buying a $10 one off of Wish or something like that. But when we talk about objects, when we talk about people, you can only do so much. You cannot force things to a certain extent, especially when it comes to people. They have to make the decision too. You can extend that olive branch, but they have to make the conscious decision to, one, not only accept it, but they have an obligation to assist in the repair of that relationship. And it's a little bit more difficult with people because on the surface it may seem like things are going well, that things are on the road to repair, but when you're talking about another living breathing person, at any point in time they can revoke that. They can void out that verbal contract of trying to repair a relationship. So just a word of caution when it comes to trying to do any of this. But there is times that no matter how badly you really want a thing or to have that person in your life, no matter how valuable you think they are, sometimes it is a very much of a wasted effort to continue and to try and save it or repair it or things like that. Don't get ahead of yourself. And when something bad happens, that you just immediately discard it and move on. But also don't get into the point that you're trying to repair absolutely everything. You can do a lot more damage to yourself. You could potentially do things physically where you're trying to uh, repair an object and you think that it's repaired and that it's usable. And when you go to use it, you can actually get physically injured or worse. You can even hurt others around you or different things like that. Or when it comes to people, uh, it's kind of that whole thing that your time, attention, your focus, your resources, and everything else that you're spending trying your hardest to maintain something that they just made the conscious decision that maybe they're doing this analysis themselves and they're saying, no, uh, I need to cut you out of my life. And no matter what you do, it's just not going to be there. That bridge is burned on their end. As much as you're trying to put down lumber and man hours of labor and everything else trying to get that bridge to connect again, it's just not going to happen. That time and energy and resources and focus and drive and determination and everything else you could have been putting into more preps and more uh, training you could be doing to where maybe there's a person that might be an actual greater asset to you, but your focus and attention is over here on something that's just not going to happen. And instead, that person that you could have had a really good replacement, they've moved on. Somebody has found them, focused on them, and brought them into their circle. And then now you have missed out on that opportunity. So uh, don't get into that to where you miss opportunities. Uh, you know, don't get it to where you miss an opportunity with objects as well. Just because you have uh, 10 different blades doesn't necessarily mean that a really good one is going to be put on clearance from a going out of business sale, or you happen to find a very gently used one at some estate sale or garage sale or something like that. Always be on the lookout for a really good deal. Caution. Sometimes, things that seem too good to be true often are, but every once in a while, there is a really, really good deal out there. And it's that whole saying, two is one is none. If you can have three, four, five, if as long as you can financially avoid or financially afford it, then yeah, by all means. And I get the people that say, well, you can only use one blade at a time, and I get having a backup, so anything over two is a waste. Is it though? Uh, you know, uh, it's a barter item. It's a tool. I can use one for training, one for putting up, one for each of my bug out bags, one for in the car. One, I can put them in various places. I can do it to where maybe somebody's coming into my mag and they don't have a really good one. They only have cheap ones because that's what they can afford. I can now gift them that and make my mag stronger. Where they had a weak point, I was able to take something that I had and make them stronger, thus making me stronger. So it's very strategic. And right there, that is kind of like a cutting of the loss thing. I could use that blade, but I'm going to go ahead and take my loss and give it to them because that loss actually turns into a strength. So as we wind down this year and as we get to it, maybe it's a good time to sit back and reflect and look at your year and see what is it that you are putting time, attention, finances, and everything else that it's just not a worthy cause. That the juice that you're going to get from this, from all this effort, is just not worth the squeeze. What is it that you can completely just go ahead and cut your loss? I put some stuff into this. I'm not going to get the return out of it that's going to benefit me, so I just need to cut it out. Go and take that and then go into the new year, and then now you're setting yourself for a better you, for a stronger mag, for tribe or family or group or whatever you're calling it. But you're setting yourself up for a greater rate of success, a greater return on investment on the things that you are trying to accomplish, and the way that you are putting all this stuff into, that you are going to get something more valuable out of it. You only get one life. You only have so much time in a day. You only have so many assets. You have to choose and be as smart as you can on what you're going to do with those. So, hopefully, that gives you a little bit of an insight, something that you can kind of rattle around in the brain as we are into this final weekend of the year. We will be putting out some fun and different content here at the end of the year, as well as I will be doing some of my review of what I did, my predictions on 2024, as well as my new predictions on 2025. We got some other fun and exciting things kind of in the works and plans and different other things. So if you made it to this far in the video, guess what? You rock. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a great day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned because there's more information to come. And with that, remain united. We're all prepping in this together.